Yo, what's good? It's your man, 100 Grand, Ross with the Rock Never Stops. Tonight I want to do this video to respond to a comment that Chauncey Billups, big shot Chauncey, made on the show All the Smoke, where he begins to talk about had the Detroit Pistons drafted Carmelo Anthony instead of Darko Milicic, where the Detroit Pistons would have been and the impact to LeBron James' career. I want to dive into that in this video. If you like the video, smash the like button, hit subscribe and the bell for notifications. Definitely appreciate all the love and support. Yo, I did a video recently, and I've done a string of videos recently where I've been really trying to illuminate more and more the impact of organizational structure and the decisions that are made far beyond the play and decisions of athletes that affect the outcome of winning. And how sometimes we get caught up in what we get shown on the court as almost as if that's the only dynamic of what is affecting the outcome of the team. Now, the Detroit Pistons, their championship against the Los Angeles Lakers was epic. I mean, whoever was there to see it, I saw it. It was freaking epic. I mean, this was some of the most amazing defense I had ever seen by an NBA team in the NBA Finals. The combination of Ben Wallace and Rasheed Wallace has to have been the greatest defensive front court of all time. Of all time. I mean, these were two All NBA defenders who could switch, who were great communicators, who could anchor a defense themselves individually, could challenge at the rim, could challenge on the perimeter, could move their feet, could hedge on screens. I mean, they could do it all. They could do it all. And yet, when you combine them with the scoring backcourt of Chauncey Billups and Rip Hamilton and the play of Tayshaun Prince as his glue guy, they had something special, and you saw it immediately when they traded for Rasheed Wallace. But here's the thing. Something else happened, or I should say didn't happen. Apparently, in this, not just this in particular, All the Smoke video with Chauncey Billups, but also in a previous interview with Carmelo Anthony, he talks about how the Detroit Pistons had promised that they were going to draft him number 2 behind LeBron James. They promised him. And they decided to go in another direction. And they drafted Darko Milicic. Now, here's the thing that we have to hold organizations accountable for. They drafted an extremely talented European player. I mean, he was, for all intents and purposes, when he came into the draft, I mean, he was about as can't miss as you could want to see. He was definitely in the Paul Gasol, but a little bit more defense. He was someone like between the Paul Gasol and Kristaps Porzingis. He could shoot. He had a little bit more physicality and athleticism to his game, and had some good skills on defense, right? But the problem was the organization did not have any of the structure and the systems in place to actually support his transition to the United States, right? He was struggling with his English. He had a coach who did not like playing rookies or young guys at all, who was hell-bent on being a great defensive team. To his credit, he won a championship. But we knew that Darko was not going to be ready, especially when every day he has to compete against guys like Ben Wallace and Rasheed Wallace, who are just going to expose him day after day after day in practice, right? Who they passed on, though, was the 19-year-old who had just led his Syracuse team to the NCAA championship game and won the championship as a freshman. One of the feats that few had ever done in the history of the NCAA. He was a 6'8" scoring machine, physically ready for the NBA at 230 pounds, right? Good wingspan, quick feet, great mid-range game, shooting stroke. I mean, he seemed to be a perfect fit for what the Detroit Pistons lacked, which was scoring punch off the bench, right? Because remember, this team is known for its defense. And so they were set up to be a great defensive team around the scoring backcourt of Chauncey Billups and Rip Hamilton, right? Both of those guys still in their prime. When you looked at it, you had Chauncey Billups, who was only 27 years old. Rip Hamilton was only 26 years old when they won this championship. And then you look at the other guys. You got Rasheed, who's 29, Ben, who was 29 years old as well, and Tayshaun Prince, who's only 24. Imagine if you bring Carmelo Anthony into that situation, right? All of a sudden now you have this dynamic scorer who's going to easily force his way into the closing minutes. And you have more than enough defense around him to be able to protect him for where he was going to lack defensively, right? But this is the beautiful thing about it, is that had they drafted Carmelo Anthony, I guarantee you LeBron never gets on that first trip to the NBA Finals where he faces Tim Duncan in his prime with the Spurs. That never happens. I guarantee it. Even the Boston Celtics championship with Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce and Ray Allen, I don't think that ever happens. Because I'm going to be real with you, that Detroit Pistons championship team was better than that Boston Celtics team. It may sound like blasphemy, but Rasheed and Ben Wallace were monsters and would have made life hell for Kevin Garnett. Hell. You could throw out Tayshaun Prince on somebody like Paul Pierce on the perimeter, right? Now all of a sudden you have this 6'9" lanky perimeter defender with a 7'2", 7'3" wingspan, right? And you got these two monster defenders behind him, right? Life would have been hell for Paul Pierce. Ray would have still got his because he's Ray, right? Rondo would have still been playoff Rondo, but I think they knocked them out. Period. They had far superior and experienced coaching at the time. And they had a team that was more in their prime and ready to win, right? So when you think about legacy, when you think about the outcomes of teams, you have to keep in mind decisions that front offices are making. But as always, I want to know what you all think. How many NBA titles do you think Carmelo Anthony gets if he gets drafted by the Detroit Pistons, right? Because I think for sure he gets that one that they won with Rasheed Wallace. And I guarantee when they run it back the following year against the San Antonio Spurs, there's a good chance they come out victorious then too, especially as Carmelo ascended, right? But let me know what you all think. Holler at me in the comment section, and I'm going to get at y'all next time. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, and I'm out. Peace.